a quick way that you can do a CSV or pipe delimited file import using Go. So today my example is this DAT file. It could be also a CSV where you've got comma delimited instead of pipe delimited, but I want to show you pipe delimited because it's just the same as CSV other than just changing how the delimited parameter is. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to import this import.dat file, and all I want to do is just spit it out to the screen, and then later in the next video we're going to go ahead and import into a MySQL database. So let's go ahead and get started with our main, and we're going to import a few packages. I know we need the buff.io. We're also going to do the encoding, I believe. And we're going to print things to screen. We're going to need strings, probably the OS. That's good enough. All right. So first things first, Go's going to fire off this main function, and we're going to go ahead and parse the data from here. We're going to import from the existing directory. So first things we got to do is open up an os.open command and import the file name. So we're going to do relative path here, just as an example. We're going to say import that DAT file, and then we want to defer the close. And now let's go ahead and check for any errors. And I'm going to throw a panic. Normally I don't use those, but we're going to use that for this example in case there's a problem. We don't want to continue if there is. Buff.io, we're going to do a new reader, and we're going to pull in the file handler into the buffer reader, and this is basically going to go through and buff and read in each line is what we're going to do. So let's start by creating a line, and how about maybe like a line count, do int64, and then let's go ahead and create a loop here that's going to read every line because we don't know where the end is. Do like a reader, read string, and we're going to delimit the each line in the file is separated on in this particular case by a new line break. So this is going to read through each line, and it's going to read one by one and break it up by line break. So let's go ahead and check to make sure there's no errors again. Well, first I'm going to make sure that the end of file hasn't been read. If that's been read, let's break out of the loop. We're finished. And let's go ahead and do a quick finished. If there's some other error, let's go ahead and freak out here with whatever the problem is. Now, first thing is in this file, we've got a header. I don't want to read that in. It's no use to me. It comes with the file, but I just don't want to delete it out of the file every time. I just want to skip it. It's kind of why I've got this line count set up, because each time I can say if line count is at the first line, then I'm going to go ahead and increment it to the next line, and then let's continue the loop and loop on to the next one. Otherwise, increase the line count. Let's do that. And then now what we need to do is we need to take this line and break it up. But before I do that, let me just show you and verify that this is actually printing each line. There we go. Nice. And let's get rid of that. And now I'm going to break each line up. We're just going to say this is going to be each record. So let's do the CSV new reader, and I think it's like strings new reader, I think we got to cast this line into a string. Yeah, I guess that works. And then I need to set the delimiter. Now you only need to do this if you're actually doing a pipe delimited. If you're not, you leave it as a comma. It defaults to a comma as the delimiter, so don't stress it. You don't have to change that. And then I'm gonna just stick this into a records variable and then check again for an error. If there is, I just want to stop. I don't want to continue. And now I want to loop each of the data that we have, and then we're going to print it to screen. And that's all we're trying to accomplish for this video. Let's print this out. And if I wanted to, I could print the whole row, but let's just print the first names here, which is row 0. And these are just 0, then 1, and then 2. So here we've got John, Jane, and finished. And if I do 1, we should get the last name. Yep, perfect. If I do row, I should print everything. And that's basically how you read a file in Go. Awesome. See you guys in the next one.